Hey guys.
Hi,
Hello.
Desire.
How are you?
I'm fine. Good
I
day.
feel like I feel like I know you already. I feel like I know you even. Happy Friday.
Same to you.
Hello, good
Um,
afternoon.
Isaac, you're in the exact same spot that we can't see you.
Okay,
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, please. It's okay. Let's take it.
can you see me? Is it okay like this?
Yes, this is good.
Okay,
It's okay.
yeah,
Hi,
okay,
boss. My boss just joined.
okay.
Hi, Tony. We're just gonna give folks a few minutes to join. It's not even 9 yet or 3 p.m. yet, so let's just hang around and give folks time to join and then we can get started.
Sure. Okay.
So, do we need to reintroduce ourselves or that it isn't needed?
Don't worry, when we get started, we'll
Okay.
talk through everything. Cool.
Can't play ball.
Hey guys, welcome.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi.
Good
Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
afternoon. I feel like I know you guys already. This is great. It's awesome. Thanks for making time. We're just gonna give it another minute or so just to have folks join, and then we can get started.
Okay.
All right, ma.
All right, ma.
Okay, we can go ahead and get started. How's everyone doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So today, thank you guys for making time to go through the ambassador training, and congratulations to every one of you. I know you guys have talked to me, and you guys have kind of shown me your passion, and you've discussed some of the things that you wanted to kind of get through in this program. And today's training is pretty much focused on showing you guys how to use the app, talking to you guys about our brand, pretty much think about it as like our PR and what we expect from you guys. Um, and then we'll also walk you through what the online platform looks like. I did send you guys an email to make sure that you guys were able to get onto our Telegram community and that you were able to download the app. So hoping that you have gone through all those processes. The way this is going to work is through each session, you're not going to be able to ask questions in the middle of each session. However, once the person is done, giving you the orientation, then we can take questions holistically, if that makes sense. So we're not interrupting the speakers as they're talking through their sessions. So at the end of today, I want you guys to write this down. You want to walk away from this conversation knowing how to use the Trove platform, both the web and the app platform, knowing and understanding that you now carry and represent Trove, and also you want to kind of understand the program overview. Following this training session, we're going to send out documentation that you are going to sign and send back to us and things like that. However, this is for you to get your questions out there. If there's anything that hasn't been answered already, or that hasn't been answered through this training program, at the end of the session, we're going to also take any type of general questions that you have, and make sure that you guys are empowered to go to everything and all the passion that you've told me that you wanted to do. And without further ado, I'll kick it over to my CEO, my boss, Oluwatomi Sholanke, to address you guys. Tomi.
Hello, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry I'm not on video. I'm actually doing different things. It's very difficult for me to do that now, but I'll probably switch on my video sometime during the conversation. So happy to have you guys. I've not been a part of the conversation, from the beginning, but definitely I've been hearing, or I've been looped into a lot of the conversations that have been happening. Pretty exciting. There are lots of opportunities that I myself personally would be pushing for. I think it's an interesting opportunity. I want you guys to, take it with some level of seriousness, but at the same time, don't take it with too much seriousness to the point that it starts to affect your own personal lives, or your academic life, or any of those type of stuff. We're always here to support or to help out if you need anything. Like I said, I'm all for earlier on, for growth, personal growth. So somewhere along the journey, if we need to help out with internships, if any of you want to veer in the direction of finance, investment banking, or banking in general, anything like pretty much under the umbrella of finance, or technology. So we're always happy to help with internships. And when you graduate from school, also NYSC opportunities, employment opportunities point you in the right direction, especially with regards to like the industries in which we operate in. So we work with quite a number of businesses, mostly within the financial services sector. So we're happy to help develop you as individuals. That's with regards to your career. And then if there's any sort of monetary support or any sort of incentives that we can provide, to help make your life easier, or the task easier, please feel free to reach out. We are open people. and always happy to hear anything you guys have to say. Um, Feedback, positive, negative, whatever the feedback sounds like. The goal is just to empower students as a whole, you know, and bring some level of literacy, financial literacy, and just pretty much empower, like I said earlier on. But outside of that, it's also an interesting opportunity for personal growth, and also to push a brand, and a brand that we think is pretty interesting. So happy to have you guys on board. If there's anything we could do to make your lives easier, or if there's anything that you're hearing on the grassroots level, whether at your campuses, or your department, or you know any feedback you're getting, that could possibly make the journey a lot less hectic. Always happy and always here to listen to you guys. So congrats and thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. All right, guys. We are gonna go through a couple of kind of early day words. You guys discussed over your interviews about how you plan to promote the brand, what you're gonna do differently. I wanted to assure you that not everyone who interviewed is here today, so you should feel privileged and you should feel like we listened to you and we listened to everything you had to say and their expectations, as well as compensation for people that do, good jobs. So I'm going to go through kind of what the expectation would be from us to you. And we're also going to kind of talk about what the compensation profile looks like. You're going to get this over email in a documentation you're going to sign, so you don't have to assimilate everything in this very moment. So as we discussed, you're going to need to promote the brand. So that could be, advertising the brand on your social media platforms, on your overall network. I know we had talked to a couple people who had said that, they had a lot of on the ground, on foot type of network. And, they could propagate the brand that way. So you're not really limited to just online. However, I also know that a couple of you have very huge social media followings and you feel like that's just a natural niche for you. So you could also use that as well. You're going to be using your referral codes because you're ambassadors, and because of, by virtue of you using your referral codes, every single person that you refer that completes their KYC process, which is their onboarding process, for each person, you get five free shares of either Dangote Sugar or Guarantee Trust Bank. And that is also applicable to the person you've onboarded. So think about it as if you onboard 10 new people every week, you're amassing 50 shares every week. And that is endless. You can decide to onboard 100 people and stop. You can decide to onboard 10,000 people. Whatever you want to do, really this business is in your hands. And I want you to think about it as your business as opposed to you're doing this for Trove. You are an affiliate of Trove, and we're glad to have you on board. And we think you have genius ideas. However, this is really your thing. This is your brainchild. This is your work, and we want to make sure that you treat it as such. I'm going to share my screen right now, and we're going to talk about the compensation profile. I want you to know that as you onboard people, your job is not really just to onboard people. You also want to make sure that people actually are using the platform. They're trading, or at least they are virtually trading. They are getting engaged on the platform. We're expecting that you host different events on your campus, or even virtually, because you have those networks, you have those plugins, and you're actually driving traction through the brand, for the brand, and for yourselves as well. The higher you go, the better the compensation looks like. And so right now, I'm actually going to share. Can everybody actually go on mute for a second? As we discussed, I know we had some late joiners, but as we discussed, we're going to go through each session, or at least each conversation, and then you can ask your questions after this conversation. So I'm going to mute everyone right now, and as people talk, we can unmute. Okay, so let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. So they're going to be about 6 levels, and everyone is going to start out. Is that here? I see you squinting. Can you see it? Okay. Okay, so everyone is going to start from the cosmopolitan level, and that's like level 1, stage 1. When you get this documentation, you see kind of how you climb from level to level. But as you can see, the levels are different. And level 1 is cosmopolitan. Level 2 is your double runner. Level 3 is a Clover Club. The Neon Riders, level 4. Leagues of the Legends, you're doing so well. You are doing amazing. You're obviously going to get a little bit more. And then the final level is Kilimanjaro. And really, that's just really putting Africa out there. That's the highest point in Africa. And that means that, you know what, you're killing the show. You're really doing a fantastic job. And so the compensation profile is also going to kind of climb that way. So once you guys get started, your base compensation is going to be 7,500 Naira per month. And then as you grow, which you really should be able to get to double runner if you're serious with the business, in less than a month, really. And that's the way it's been designed. Like I said, you get this documentation just so you're clearer, and you can talk to me personally. You guys can send me an email. You already have that. And as you grow through the process, you have more access to different things. One of the things I didn't put on here was that what Tommy talked about, where we can help you with different affiliations. We have partnerships with several different firms on the block. And when I say on the block, in the financial sector and in the fintech sector as a whole. So everything that intersects financial services and technology, we can help you kind of get into that space, penetrate that landscape. But really, that is for every single Trove ambassador that's doing well. So like I said,
Yeah.
this is your business. It's really what you make out of it. If you put in work into it and you know that this is something you want to pursue, we're here to support you. We're here to help you walk through different kinks. You're also going to get to talk to our CTO a little bit later, who's going to kind of walk us through some of the tech interfaces and things like that. It is quite inevitable that you're going to run into tech kind of help that you would need help with and things like that, just because if you're doing a good job, you probably run into some kinks. But we'll be here to support you every step of the way. And I could definitely take any questions at
Yeah.
this time.
Sorry, Desiree, can I just chip in something just quickly? All right. Just to add more context or more color to what she's saying, all right? So I think the mistake a lot of people make in school, right, is I know we all like, social stuff, right? And parties and everything enjoyment, but the truth is after school there's life again, right? And I think it's an interesting opportunity for you to do something that you're making, like, some extra stuff into your pocket, but at the same time, um there's also some future leverage that you can get, by some level of, or by focusing on this to some degree. And when I mean focus, it's not like a job, right? It's just, there is this cool brand. It's financial, like it's teaching people financial literacy. This is blah blah blah. This is what it entails. It's something that you can do casually with, just 1 to 30 minutes of your day. And if you have an active network, it makes it a little less hectic. It makes it much easier. But just to add just just to add color to what she said, to be more specific, like as of today, we have working relationships with people like, some banks like Union Bank, for example, with Zenith Bank, for example, with ARM, for example, with, the stock exchange, Nigerian Stock Exchange, for example, FMDQ, for example. And, those are all places that are very familiar, right? And outside of, like, on the screen, you would see intern at Trove. Outside of that, there's an opportunity for, if we see somebody that's really, really amazing, I don't mind, going the extra mile to make sure, the person is, if we can accommodate everybody at Trove. Unfortunately, that's the reality. But then, we're always willing and happy to go the extra mile to make sure all the ambassadors that have proven themselves over time are, to some extent, properly taken care of. We all know Nigeria. Nigeria is a huge mess. It's my country. I love it, but the reality is the reality. And so it's good to focus and keep your eyes on the goal. There's some leverage that you can get out, especially if you're like in your final year or the year before your final year. It will be an interesting opportunity around internship and possibly, a full-time type of role. But then it has to be focused. I won't go an extra mile for somebody that has dodgy characteristics or characters. So like your character has to be upright 100%, and just show like just proper work ethic, and I think everything will be fine. So I just thought I'd just chime that in. So just so you can, if they're saying companies or internships, you can have more clarity on exactly what kind of companies or what kind of internship opportunities actually exist as of today.
Any questions, guys? Okay. Thanks, Tommy.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you very much.
Of course.
Okay. Hello, this is
Hi, Tomishe.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask a question as regards the new compensation plan. I don't know, is there a unique way that each ambassadors would be like is there a unique way whereby our would have our records to be tracked? Is there aside
Yes,
from others? Okay.
there's going to be an ambassador dashboard that's currently in the works, but also within your web interface, which I'm going to go through a little later. You'd be able to track how you're onboarding people, who's verified, who's still pending verification. But in terms of cascading your work and in terms of propagating what you're doing either on social media and things like that, there will be a dashboard that you can track that through.
Okay, great. And from the discussion, we talked about the compensation having been, is going to contain monthly compensation, access to Trove event. Now, how do we, what are the things that are required, to achieve those milestones? Are there target referrals that must have been done? Or I want to know, is there a target we need
Yes.
to have met? Is there a milestone? Like something we need to do?
Yes, it's going to be on a point-based system. Like I mentioned, you're going to get this whole spread via email in a documentation. But yes, it's going to be on a point-based system. You're going to get points for the different things that you do. You're going to be able to track those, and you're going to have to send us evidences of the things that you're doing. And those would then feed into the back of your dashboard and reflect there. But yes, for every single stage, there's a milestone and there's a target for you to hit.
Okay, thank you very much.
Of course. Toby, I think you're on mute. I see you talking, but I think you're on mute.
No, I wasn't going to say anything, but then I guess I came late. So a lot must have been said.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So you've already said you would send us all the stuff and the information. Now, my own question is related to the way we register, the KYC verification. I got a message earlier this week that my KYC registration was rejected because of irregularities in the address. Actually, I told you that it was Unilag admission that brought me to Lagos. Now, the address on my hostel is the address of my hostel is on the utility bill. Now, I sent them the address of where I was living before on my voter's card. and now it was rejected. I know I know there will be others that will have the same situation as mine. Please, I don't know if there is any way. Now I don't even know what to do with my own case now. They have rejected my own.
Mhm.
So I don't know if there is any way we could go about the verification
Yes.
uh, process.
So Toby, thanks for bringing that up. Actually, we also have a Slack workspace for our ambassadors, such that you're able to post these types of questions. And if it's not me, someone on our team will be able to pick it up. So if you have KYC problems, we'll have someone who's our KYC expert in-house, and they can walk you through what you need to do. Sometimes that person could be me, but sometimes might not be me. So I would also share that Slack channel with you guys, and add you guys to it so that you can again interface with our backend and our broader team for these
Okay.
specific issues.
No, and then my
And
last
then,
question, please.
by the way, to address your current situation, let's just take it offline. We can talk about that outside of this conversation.
Okay. What's the name of this thing? This I'm not forgetting the question right now. You can go on.
Okay. All right. Guys, I'm going to put everyone back on mute, and I'm going to kick it over to my colleague, and our marketing manager, Isioma, to take us through our PR, and marketing content for the day.
Hi, everybody. Not to overflog it, but I think it's very important.
Isioma, could you please unmute? Okay.
Okay. Wow, so I've been on mute this entire time. Okay. So basically I was saying, let me just run through that again. Congratulations to everybody. We're really happy to have you on board. And the reason we keep repeating that is that we genuinely are happy to have as many people as we can on this, on this program, because, generally we believe that Trove is a really great brand. So to be able to have ambassadors that would be able to tell that story is really awesome. So congratulations, welcome to the family, and we look forward to this journey together. So basically what I'm here to do, as I've been introduced, I'm in charge of marketing here. Basically what that's that's jargon for storytelling. So when it comes to the representation of Trove, outside of the Trove community, internally amongst ourselves, anything that goes outside, I need to make sure that it's in line with what we believe as a brand. So I'll start off by, I'm sure everybody here already knows the meaning of the word ambassador. So the fact that you are an ambassador for Trove generally means that you are an embodiment of what we believe in. And so we expect some level of we expect some kind of standards when it comes to your communication. Let the word standards not scare you. It's like Desire said, this is your baby. It should be natural to you. You should be able to, push this the way you like. But just the way Nigeria has an ambassador to Spain, and so anything that happens to that ambassador in Spain is technically an attack on the country. And then whatever that person does is taken as the country's word. We also need to make sure that you're in line with what we believe as a brand. So I'll start off very immediately by walking you through what exactly, for those who may not be conversant with what a brand is, in terms of, so I'm just gonna give you a small tidbit on that. A brand is basically an artificial person. When you hear brand, it's not really that technical. What we're basically summarizing there is that it's an artificial person, and just like a person, it has its unique characters, just like any person. And the voice that we choose basically is what will help the people that want to interact with us, which in marketing is called your target audience. It helps those people recognize the brand's personality every time you interact with them, whether it's over the phone or through social media or other communications or even in person. So every time you're speaking to people as a Trove ambassador, it's important that you communicate these things. And these things are simply, so just the company's values. Just because as a person, you do have values and things that you take as important. And so the company as a brand and as an artificial person has these things as well. The values, our identity, things that we want to be able to be recognized by. So that's just basically a summary on what a brand is. It's really not that, it's not too complicated. When it comes to who brand is, who Trove is as a brand, basically, I'll start with our value proposition, right? So why should you be invested in Trove? And please feel free, it's like Desayo said, you can ask me any questions, anything that isn't too clear to you after I'm done speaking. But I think it would be important for you to take some notes, just because these are some of the things that would guide the entirety of you speaking for us as a brand, right? I will also be on the lookout for some of those things. So if you have any questions or anything that you need to clarify, please feel free to write that down and I'll clarify after I'm done. Now, this information is for you. And also when you start to propagate the Trove message, you need to be able to understand this properly and tell people as well. What is our value proposition? Why should the average person choose us as opposed to a piggy vest or, you know, or a Colo NG? What do we bring to the table as a brand? The summary of it is that Trove consists of people and founders and a system that's basically filled with stock market education, years and years of Wall Street and finance experience, like we've said, experience and then connections. These values that we have based on our different founders and the people that are part of this brand, we have a passion for filling gaps in the society, building a thriving business from scratch. Different people involved in this business have been involved in bringing things to life from nothing. And so that's what we want to be able to do with the average person's savings, with the average person's wealth that they want to create and duplicate, right? And it starts with ambassadors like you who we, you know, help to share a message, and then we also help you create something out of that, right? Trove possesses SEC level checks. For those who don't know what SEC is, it's the Securities and Exchange Commission. So basically, Trove is as secure as a bank. I know a lot of people have a lot of skepticism around, you know, technology and how safe it might be just because of the day and age that we're in. But Trove is you know, has SEC level checks, and we are pioneers. You may or may not know this already, but we are pace setters. We start and others follow, really. That's one of our value propositions. That's one of the things we bring to the table. We are the first stock market investment platform in Nigeria. We saw that there was a gap and we felt the need to fill it. And just like we said, pace setters, we did it, and other people realized it was a great idea and have followed, right? So I'm going to just go straight into that's what we bring to the table as a brand. And if anybody asks you why exactly you're doing this and who is Trove, this is something you should also be able to communicate with them as well. It should also reflect in your content that you share. Now I'll go straight into what I would call a brand heart. That's a marketing term for the essence of who this brand is and what are the things that make this brand tick, right? So first of all, I'll start with our purpose. Why do we exist? As I've mentioned before, somewhere in the value proposition, we basically exist, in summary, to make top-notch investments available to the hardworking Nigerian. That was where this idea came from. It's important to us that we democratize investment for everyone. So not just creating an opportunity, but creating an opportunity that everyone can be part of. Anybody can see themselves reflected in that, right? Our mission, what are we here to do? And how do we create that future? It's important for us that we bridge the gap needed in the investment space. For a long time, the average Nigerian did not know what to do with their money until, you know, let's say a piggy vest came into question, right? I keep referencing this because it's one of the most used platforms here. People were used to putting their money under their bed or just leaving it in their accounts. And then this platform came and said, you know what, let's help you digitize that. And it was great, but Trove decided we needed to take it a step further. What if you don't just want to keep your money in your account and just have it accumulating? That's a great idea. But what if you were in the mood to take a little bit of a risk and create secure, diverse investments for yourself in the long term, grow your wealth and amass money? We're talking, you know, if anyone who reads, you know, Warren Buffett and the likes of them will tell you that if you are not making money by a passive income stream, you're not gonna rise beyond a certain level. And that's the opportunity that Trove is here to create for people. What is our vision? Where do we want to be in a couple of years? We want to be the foremost financial investment platform out of Africa. We want to be able to create investment opportunities across borders. We're starting with Nigeria now, just because when it comes to the financial landscape, it's pretty monitored. A lot of things need to go into being able to create that value for people. So we need to take it one step at a time. But over time, we're looking at being able to create these opportunities for people across board and giving them that opportunity. That's what Trove is. And so when it comes to storytelling or being able to share a message, I'm sorry, is someone asking a question, or what's that sound? Okay, so basically I was saying, when it comes to being able to share that message, like I said, the brand is like a person. And you want to be able to describe when a brand would typically have its identity because it's a person, right? When you meet someone, you would always leave with an impression. You would always have ways that you describe them. Now, what we call our identity and our values, I like to call them the true fruits of the spirit. For those who may not be Christian, basically what that describes, when you have the fruits of something, it's when you embody that thing, the things that you exude, the things that people see from you because you are a part of that thing, right? To be able to be a part of Trove, we want you to be able to exude innovation and excellence, because that's what we do here. We're very thorough, depth and thoroughness. So we don't just scratch the surface. We look through the entirety of things and figure out what is the best way to be able to provide value, and not just provide value, do it end to end, thoroughness, right? Talent and skill, we really value that, which is part of why you're here, right? Skill to be able to do the work. Talent, we notice some of the things that you were able to bring to the table. We want inspiring leadership, we want creativity. These are things that we believe that if you really truly believe in the Trove brand, these are things that we should be able to see off of you while you're an ambassador. People should be able to see, oh wow, this is a brand that does this, and everybody who's attached to them behaves this certain way. So that's it for the brand hearts, our purpose, our mission, our vision, and then our brand values, right? If you remember what I said, the brand values are the fruits of the spirit, right? So what we want to be able to see from you based on the fact that you are associated with this brand. Now, the brand messaging, which is the really, so that was more internal, the heart. It should give you insight into what it is that we do, why you're doing what you're doing, and why we got you on board to be able to propagate this message. But when it comes to the messages, this is the external parts. This is the part that you're going to be showing people, and here are some of the things that guide that. Because storytelling has to be, the truth is, whether you want to or not, people will always have an impression of you. So what you need to do is to try to get ahead of it and make sure that you're directing where they're going with their impressions, right? And so we try to do that with our brand messaging. The brand messaging basically entails everything that's related to how you speak about our company, how you describe our products, how you communicate with customers, whether it's in person in your schools or it's online if someone mentions you because there's some palaver with Trove, right? The way you interact with these people, you eventually see it in your documents that there are some things that are important to us that you do not do. But before we even go into the do nots, here are some of the do's, right? Here are some of the things that you should actually be trying to do. So I'm going to just run through them. I'm going to discuss the brand essence, the tagline, right? The messaging pillars and the character edges. Basically, the brand essence has to do with when they describe the essence of a person, it's basically the things that you feel, right? Vanilla essence. If anybody remembers that that body spray that was really in it's like, I don't know if you guys, I just realized I don't even know if you guys might know that, but there was the vanilla. And what an essence is basically what you feel around that person. Every time you interact with our brand, every time, whether it's our app or our web pages or our staff or our ambassadors who are now you, what is the feel we want people to be able to get out of Trove, right? So I'm not going to bore you with the details. I'm not going to go too deep into the details except anybody has any question around it. But the dimensions are simply, when it comes to our competence, we want people to be able to describe us as intellectual, as attentive, innovative, and people with expertise, right? And you will see this if you have downloaded the app and interacted with this. You will see it when it comes to our app. You will see this on our website and the details that we go into, even in just something as basic as our frequently asked questions. You can compare that literally, you know. So we want to be able to be known for these things. When it comes to sincerity, right? We are ethical, we're cheerful, we're genuine, we're appreciative. Don't worry, I'll go into what these means and what these things mean and how they apply to your messaging. We're imaginative, we're playful, and we're elegant. I will explain those. So all of these things just have to do with, like I said, the perception of the brand, the voice. We want to always communicate quality, intimacy, and confidence. I'll give you an example of a brand that communicates quality and confidence. Apple is an example of a brand that communicates quality and confidence. For years, people have been complaining about the fact that Apple products are expensive. People cannot understand why Apple product users want to literally die on the line there, right? But the key to it is they have managed to stay consistent. And this, their voice translates to their product, it translates to their interaction with their customers on every touch point, whether it's social media, website, or their product itself, how you pay for the product, how they introduce the product to you. I don't know if some of you here have been conversant with tech, but Apple always does a launch. They will invite a certain level of, you know, a certain amount of people to a room and talk to them about the product and let them know why it's so great and the thinking behind it. And so this is what we want to be able to communicate as well. Storytelling, but from a place of confidence, because we know that we are deep and we are thorough with our work. We want to be able to exude confidence. I don't know if it's linking up and making sense, but that's basically the point. I will talk about the tone, but basically we want to be able to, tone is kind of generic and it fits into whatever you're talking about in that time. Unlike the voice, the tone of your brand can change depending on the situation, depending on what's going on. So for example, if it's a scenario where Black Lives Matter is happening in society, you're not going to come and, you know, crack, quote unquote, an insensitive joke around race or around people's colors. Just to give a generic example, your tone has to be sensitive to what is going on depending on the situation. Different tones can be used to build different emotional connections with the person you're trying to talk to, who I've mentioned is your target audience, right? But as a brand, we need to be able to be empathetic. We need to be able to feel the pain, because that's where we came from. That's the origin of Trove. We found that there was a gap. We found the pain points of people realizing that they wanted to be able to do this thing but had no access to it, and we created a solution. So that's always the brand, right? The tagline is very simple. Your tagline when it comes to marketing is what you want people to be able to make your brand synonymous for. So on the go, what is the first thing you think about when you think of Trove? Our tagline is simply secure, smart investment for everyone. Secure because, like I mentioned really early, our value proposition is that we bring SEC level security, bank level security. We're not going to brag and say it's more, because we go into so much detail trying to make sure that you know, your money is secure, whether it's from the kind of information that we get from you, the process that goes into approving your KYC. I remember somebody on here mentioned how his address was different and so he had a problem. You may see that as, but think about it from protecting your money, right? We don't take anything less than standard to be able to give you that standard security that you need. Smart investment in the sense that we help you, we teach you as well. If you go on our platform and on our app, you will see that there's a lot of information around investment there as well. We also try to help you, you know, categorize the investments according to, you know, according to segments, so to speak, just to help you make the smart choices. So just the last and almost final bit really is basically our messaging pillars. So who are we as a brand? And these are more in terms of PR, in terms of if you have to release content out there. All the things I've mentioned are guides, right? Are guides that you should have in mind, but these are actual messages that we want to be able to be propagated. So who are we? The most important thing we want people to know about us is that Trove is Nigeria's pioneer stock trading financial investment platform, allowing you to trade US stocks from the comfort of your home for as little as $10 or 1,000 naira for Nigerian stocks. It might not sound like a lot, but it really is groundbreaking, because up until now, you would need to have a broker abroad or some type of ties to the US to be able to invest in their stocks there. But Trove is able to give you that opportunity for as little as $10 and 1,000 naira, which means you can start to, even if you don't have a lot, you can start to duplicate what you already have and make a lot from there, right? So our supporting messages basically are things that you will also see online, and then we hope that you can coin your content from. This is kind of expo really, if we're being honest, right? So if you're paying attention, I've already given you some like really easy sales pitches that you will be able to use to talk to people about. But really, our supporting messages that we also want people to be conscious of is that we have developed partnerships with top forex and security providers to ensure investments are at minimal cost with a safety net, right? We back people's monies up. We're not doing this, like I said, thorough and deep. We're not doing this off the top of our heads. Everything has been deeply thought out and is well secure. Your money has a safety net when you invest with us. It's literally the cheapest out there right now, right? $10 is a really small amount for being able to invest in foreign stocks. And what we've done is that we've broken these things into fractions, understanding that some people may not have enough to, buy whole stocks, right? And then the second message is that our product, when it comes to who we are, our product is currently used by top executives across varying renowned industries, reporting seamless experiences and commendable returns. What that basically means is that we have really renowned people who use our platform, and they have invested a lot of money, and they have gotten very great returns, and they always have great stories to tell about our app, simply because we make sure that we're exercising our expertise and we're paying attention to the detail. We have people who work at Shell and Chevron and Goldman Sachs who invest a lot of money with us. And it's important that people, because Nigerians also like to be able to relate to who is, people in general, human beings in general like to be able to relate to who is at the other end, who else is doing this thing with me. We have a wide variety of people using our things. We have students as well, like yourself. We have really top executives. Everybody gets an opportunity when it comes to Trove. Our ideology, why do we do the things we do? And I've mentioned this before, but primarily it's because we saw a gap in the Nigerian market for hardworking Nigerians to be able to invest in long-term plans that could yield wealth in their future. So think about if people had been investing with Trove way before this pandemic hit. A lot of people's incomes have been thrown to hell because of the way that the economy is at the moment, right? And a lot of people are now realizing, oh my God, I really should have put my money elsewhere that should have been adding up to something else. But, if only these opportunities were available way before, a lot of the things that people are experiencing now wouldn't have happened. So we see ourselves as the people that provide a solution for an uncertain future. The only thing you can be certain about in your future are the things that you put in place, and we're trying to give people the opportunity to create some level of certainty for themselves, right? And so our supporting message when it comes to why we do the things that we do is that we're passionate about being able to provide value to people in a way that impacts their lives. It's not just about doing it for the sake of doing it. By providing a secure platform for people looking for where to invest their money irrespective of their income level. You heard what I mentioned about the fact that the things are so cheap. So anybody can invest in Trove. So the only other thing would be character edges. When it comes to our messaging, it's very important that while we're talking about the brand, we don't sort of get carried away, so to speak, like I said, in terms of so I'll just go straight to an example. When it comes to character edges, basically it's a marketing term for being able to put the personalities and voices that I've already mentioned into dimensions, right? So what this does is that it helps with copy and content writing when you're posting on social media. When you're speaking to your friends about Trove, you're conscious about the kind of conversations you want to have. This is most especially for social media though, because these things are out there for everyone to see, and it's a public platform. Anyone can see it. So it's important that you speak to the brand's characters but you make sure that you're not sacrificing one for the other, right? We're not overplaying one to the point where we're losing our backbone on the other thing. I'll go straight to an example. An example would be, let's say we've said that one of our identity markers, one of the things that defines our personality is that we're genuine, right? And so, genuine can also mean authentic. So we are original, right? And so you want to post something on social media that looks like, Trove is going to give you insights and tools that make investments easy for you. And those may not even be our features. You're trying to be cheeky, right? We have original things. We're trying to say that we're original. So what you want to do with that kind of content is be honest, be direct. If anybody comes and says under the comments that is a lie, I registered with Trove the other day and it's a lie, my money, I tried to withdraw, you people are not giving me my money. You need to first of all own any issues or mistakes head on. Don't try to, be sly about it or ignore the person or make it seem like they're the ones who didn't do it well enough, right? Own up to the issues and mistakes head on and show the person how you will address them. Then you follow through and stick to your word. Following through and sticking to your word just means you make sure that, okay, you've plugged the right person from the Trove team onto that problem to make sure that they take care of it. You don't just ignore it because, well, what's my own? My own is to refer people. This person has come to put bad belly in my comments. I won't really have that. So, no, that's not what it is. We're genuine and we want to be able to show that what we do is through and through. So what you need to make sure you don't do is use passive answers, passive aggression, use any generic answers that someone, because like I said, a brand is a person. And obviously as human beings, we can tell when someone is not being genuine. We can tell when someone is brushing us off or just being, inept. So you don't want to use generic answers. You never overpromise. If you don't know the answer to the thing, let them know that you'll get back to them or you plug someone who does. Don't overpromise. Don't say anything that the product cannot do. Always cross-check, right? Because it's important that as much as we say that we're deep and thorough, it needs to reflect in our communication as well. So I'll give another random example of do's and don'ts for that, because really that's a really important part when it comes to being able to focus on our content. Let's say that we want to talk about, we've already said that one of the things that we are is playful, right? And so because we're a playful brand, you say something like, you're at one of Trove events. Let me give a hypothetical example. You are one of Trove events and you want to post something that makes people realize that you're having fun. And so you say, we take our products seriously. We don't take ourselves too seriously. Something playful, right? We just make a cheeky joke, tongue in cheek, and you're like, we take our products seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. It's a funny looking picture. That's a great caption, right? But what you want to be able to do is you want to use, when you're talking about the playful side of things, you want to use playful and colorful illustrations. You're not going to suddenly become a graphic designer for Trove. I'm not referring to color in terms of the visuals that you're putting in. I'm referring to color in terms of the words that you use to describe that activity. You can paint a picture in someone's mind by the words that you choose to use. So if you're trying to describe playfulness, you do that. You use colorful illustrations with your words. What you don't want to do, just because we said that we are playful, is now be too casual, right? What you don't want to do is use too many pop culture references, because you also have to remember that we're an elegant brand as well. So I'll give an example. You make that comment, then so you're trying to do a content around Don't Leave Me. Then you want to add On Fleek. Then you want to add Slay. Hello, we're still a brand, right? As much as it's pop culture, you don't want to get too TMZ because you don't want to sacrifice elegance and expertise on the altar of playfulness. You have to be able to try to balance these things. Think about it as a person. If this person was a playful person who's really cheerful, but also needs to make sure that their intellectual side is also showing, would this person go this far with the content and communication? So that's just what I need you guys to just always have in the back of your minds. I'll wrap up again by saying you are ambassadors. So at this point, you are Trove, and Trove is you. Every time you're speaking as a Trove ambassador, it's important that you embody these things, you remember these things, You remember the why of what you're doing, because at the end of the day, those are the things that motivate us. So besides being able to earn money, remember the why of, why is this important to Trove? It's a symbiotic relationship now. You do things for us, we do things for you. Why are you doing this for us? Why is it important to the brand? And you need to always keep that in the back of your mind while you communicate with people. And I wish you good luck on your journey as ambassadors. I hope to see you guys at more of our events, making some nice money. I was just telling Desire that I wish these types of things were available when I was in school, because it's like, this kind of nice cash wouldn't have been bad, or, so good luck, you guys. And please feel free to ask me any questions, even if you don't remember the questions now. After the documents are shared with you, like Desire said, we have our Slack platform. Please reach out. We're a family here. Everyone is super involved in everything, really. So if you even have any random ideas that you've heard, like Tommy said, your ears in the grassroots. So if you have any random ideas, you're seeing that this would really work for your community, please feel free to suggest. It's like this, I said, we will listen to you, we will take the recommendations, we will apply it and if it works out, who knows, we could even, they're discretionary bonuses, so, yeah. Okay, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, if you have any questions, guys, please feel free to ask questions. Branding magic. Any questions, guys?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm so happy she touched the SSC level checkpoints. Though I actually don't know much about it, but I had a situation this morning. I was trying to convince my brother, who is also a student like me, that he should join Trove, but my mom was there. So the moment I mentioned that you're going to input your BVN there, she was like, you're inputting the BVN, that's a scam. Forget about it, that's a scam. So I was like, really? So the moment she said something about security, I was like, I have to mention this so that the next time this happens, I'll have something to say to her and convince her that, okay, mommy, it's not a scam. So I would like her to elaborate more on the SSC level checkpoints.
Okay, so I may not be able to go into the nitty-gritty of that, but you remember I mentioned that Trove has bank level security. You need to think about why, when you open a bank account, your bank asks for your BVN. It's not because they're trying to siphon money from your other existing banks. It's so that they can have your identity, one. They can also track your activity, right? And so they can also have a closed network of your information. Now, Trove has bank level security. And so because of that, it's also, they're also, like I said, there are a lot of restrictions when it comes to this financial sector. So there are some things that are even required by law, quite frankly. And so we need some of those pieces of information from you to be able to verify your information, make sure that you are who you say you are. It's safety for you. It's more for your safety than it is for us, really, because think about it. What are we really using your BVN for? Technically, what we need access to is your money. But to be able to keep your money safe, we need access to that information so that if anybody else were trying to come in there and pose like they were you, we know that you already have this person's information, no, that's not you, right? So it's more from a security point of view, it's more from a legal point of view. And then I will also please let my colleague Desire speak to this as well. In case
Absolutely, yeah. So in terms of security, we take that very, very seriously. You guys have been familiar with anything in the financial sector. You guys know about anti-money laundering, you know about fraud, and these things happen because other people impersonate people, right? And so they come on and they act like they're you, and all of a sudden we don't know who's who. And so in order to put all these protections in place, and really I think Upper would give us, if you guys really want like technical details and numbers, he can do that more. But in case someone else wants to either try to defraud you and or hack your account and things like that, we need to make sure that this is you, and that's your key identification number.
Yes.
In the US, you have something called your social security number, your SSN. In Nigeria, it's your BVN. My social security number, nobody else knows it, not my family, nobody. But for every single conversation I have on the phone about my bank account, about anything that relates to me, even up until my utility bills, sometimes they ask me to confirm either the last 4 digits of my social, really an identifier. And because nobody else knows it, once I say it and it's correct, they know it's me. But once I say it and it's incorrect, all of a sudden it's like, no, it's not really you. So this is not just unique to Nigeria. It's really how most of the first world countries, that's how they identify people. Outside of your fingerprint, if you're not there live where we can actually either check your eyeballs or something like that, we need some type of unique identifier, and think about your BVN as that as well. And so you're giving it to us so we can keep. Imagine if you're investing in the stock market and you bought Tesla stocks and you bought it when Tesla was $200, and now Tesla is like above $1,000, and you're like, look, I'm in money, okay, talk to me different, I'm rich. And you're you're feeling like, you're there, and then somebody else comes in and they're like, no, guess what, I am just higher. And you're not gonna feel good about that, and that's good. That liability is gonna be on us. And so I give you guys that very jovial response. You want to remember when people are asking you, I'm not going to put my BVN number in. It's really, you need to educate them. Don't be irritated because people just don't know. Okay, do not be irritated, but try to educate them and try to come to their level when you're educating them, so they can take that and actually cascade that information too within their own network. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Awesome. Do you have any other questions?
No. She basically she touched the area that I wanted to ask. That's about the content, and I'm okay with that. So thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, so we have what we need to go into the app and kind of do a whole slew of front to end of our app and our web interface. But the branding conversation was very detailed, was very engaging and powerful. So thank you so much, Isioma, for that fruitful session. We're going to also embed the branding documentation into the documentation that you're going to get, so you can always refer back to it in case you have any type of information that you need and things like that. But I wanted to emphasize, before your social media posts go out, they have to be approved by our team. It may not be me, could be Isioma. We want to make sure that we are controlling everything that you guys put out there. It's your creativity. We're not going to tamper with your creativity, but we want to make sure that those things are either, on par with how we're thinking about the Trove brand and what we've already created so far, and or above and beyond. So everything we're going to be driving through the Slack channels. You guys are going to have your own Slack channels, and you're going to be rest assured that these things, we're going to try to get to it as quickly as possible. Everything that you're going to need would be in the documentation that you're going to get and in the contract. Also know that if you do not comply with a lot of what we've written in this documentation, we retain the rights and the discretion to relieve you of your ambassadorial duties at any point in time. So guys, this is serious business. We're not joking around. We're handling people's money, and to that effect, we need to make sure that people have confidence in us. And if you're going to be our ears, our eyes, if you're going to represent us in your local communities, we need to make sure that you also have the same passion and the same heart for what we're doing. So that said, I want a quick icebreaker before we go into the app. And people look serious and you guys just look bored out of your mind. So we're going to go around the room and we're going to introduce ourselves. All I need is your first name, your school, and what you're studying versus something that's funny about you. I can start. My name is Jesiah. I'm a co-founder here at Trove, and I'm not going to school, so I'm not studying anything. Something funny about me. Let's see. I want to be a billionaire, and okay. So something super lighthearted. Doesn't have to be deep. I just want to make sure that our blood is still flowing before we go into the next session. So I will call out the names. I will go around the room as I see folks' names on here. Isaac, you are next. Remember, first name, your school, what you're studying, something funny about you. Isaac, you're on mute. Isaac,
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
First day of
Hi,
Lagos.
good afternoon.
Okay, I'm sorry, the network is somehow bad, so I don't know if I'm still being heard.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm Oloke Isaac Lan, and I'm a student at the University of Lagos State, Unilag, Apoka, and I'm studying psychology. So there's not really much about me. Like I said the other day, I'm sorry, the network is somehow buzzing. I don't know if I'm still being heard. I'm
Don't
just trying
worry,
to,
we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. So I'm studying psychology. Okay, and I'm 111. I'm on 111 anniversary. So been home for some time now due to the pandemic in the country. So about the little I can say about myself, like I said earlier, when Mrs. This talked to me about telling people like saying a little about myself. I said I can't really say much about myself until there's a relationship. I mean, there's a communication or contact between me and the person also know about me. And then, so I can't really say much about myself for now, except there's a contact.
I think you're thinking too deeply about this. Just something funny. I said I want to be a billionaire. What? Just something funny.
Okay,
Isaac,
yeah,
are you
good.
a Yahoo Yahoo boy? I don't understand. What can you tell us about yourself?
Okay,
I went to relax. So that's
it's not a problem. Okay. Actually, it's quite funny too. But what I'm just trying to say is that I don't know whatever attribute I'm gonna give about myself now, it will be subjective. Whatever attribute or characteristic I'm going to give to everyone about myself will be subjective.
Okay, Isaac. Okay. Don't worry. We're gonna have to just move on. Izehi, you can take the floor.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Amada Su. I am a student of University of Lagos. I'm studying psychology. And something funny about myself, I like to take pictures. In a day, I can take up to 300 pictures. So
That means this content creation will not be hard for you.
Seriously. Awesome. Thank you, Zehi. Esther, you're next.
Okay, my name is Esther, and I'm a student of University of Lagos studying accounting. Okay, something funny about myself. I still, like I squeeze my bread, I put it in my tea whenever I'm taking tea. It's actually really nice.
Esther, no. No. Yes, Issy, you were next.
Issy as in me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. So my name is Isioma, as you can see. What I do, I'm the marketing manager for Trove. So storytelling is my forte. I'm not studying anything. I don't know if I'm sad about that because no one told us that life after school was this much, Maybe I should have enjoyed that a little longer. Something funny about me. When I was younger, right? God, I'm a little ashamed to say this. Someone told me that if you swallow the seed of a fruit, it will grow in your stomach. And I believe it. So there was this day I swallowed orange seed and I literally spent like an hour crying because I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to leave my orange tree inside me? I'm going to die. So, that's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, wow. Someone played a cruel one on you. Indeed. Thank you for that. Ayola, you're next.
Okay, so my name is Ayola. I'm a student of the University of Lagos, 400 level, Creative Art Department. So something funny about me, actually, I'm in the same boat with you. I like money. But aside that, I like teasing people, makes me comfortable. So.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Ayala. Helen, you're next.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Helen.
My name is Edwin Inyamatiken. I'm schooling in the University of Lagos. I'm studying mass communication. I'm in 200 level. Something funny about me would be I want to be the next Oprah Winfrey.
Okay. Okay, girl. Okay.
Well, I'll probably pray. I will love it.
Awesome. Thanks, Helen. You are next, Toby.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oluwatobi.
Mm.
I'm year 2 student of University of Lagos. I'm studying finance. And the funny thing about me is that I have facial expression for everything. Like if you, if my friends actually take their phones when they are with me because they know I'm going to make some funny faces to whatever
Oh,
the
I'll be
situation
very
is.
comfortable
So
with
they
this person.
create stickers on WhatsApp and spread it.
So you're a meme generator. Toby.
Yes.
Right.
Nice one.
Okay. Thanks, Toby. Precious, you're next.
Hi everyone, my name is Precious and I'm studying accounting in the University of Lagos. One funny thing about me, it's not really funny though, but there's something about me you guys don't know is that I like to sing, but the bad part of it is that I actually don't know how to sing. Like my voice is actually terrible. And I actually like to do it, I don't mind, but people don't want to listen to me or something. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Princess, you're next. You're mute.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Princess.
Hi, my name is Princess. I'm a 200 level student of the University of Lagos. And something funny about me, I like talking. I like interacting with chickens like they're humans. So
That was
yes, I don't know. I just find them, I feel like they act like humans in a way. So yes.
Okay, Precious, that's all good as long as they've never spoken back to you.
No.
Okay, so we're still good. We're still good.
You're a chicken whisperer.
You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me. Thank you. Thank you. Oluwatumishe, you're next.
Okay, my name is Tumishola Olua from the University of Benin.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, what's funny about me? I don't really have what's funny about me, but then I'm just daring. I want to go for anything,
Okay. Okay. We'll take that. We'll take that. Boss, my CEO, you're next, sir.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Tommy. Yeah, I'm not in school too. Quite unfortunate. Let me see. One funny thing about myself. It's not funny per se, but like one interesting fact about myself would be, if you see me maybe on radio, everybody says it every time. You see me on radio, on TV, or on any media outlet, I'm like the most serious person ever. And then if you see me, I'm the most, I don't know, I'm the wildest person if you see me outside of those settings. So it's like a clear contradiction. I'm like opposite characters, So that's a fun fact, not really super funny.
That is actually very true. That's very true. Oh, okay. Thank you, boss. Aminat, you're next. You're mute.
Oh, hi everyone. Amina also went to UNILAG, finished years ago. One funny thing about me, I still cry when I watch some movies. Is that funny? Okay.
Don't worry, you have a second here.
Okay, I think I mean some of you will have, so yeah. Yeah. So glad to have you guys on board. I handle customer success on Trove and all of that. I hear you your name. Let me look for it. Adams Oluwatobi, the KYC guy that had KYC questions. We'll look into it, see what the issue was with your account.
Awesome. Thank you, Amina. Yes, Toby, like I said, our team is super eager to help you guys and or any of your recruits make sure that you're taken care of. So Amina's been with us from the very beginning. She is amazing, and you guys will get to know her as you interact through your businesses. I know Austin is on the call. Austin is another boss of mine, but I know he's pretty tucked away, so I'm gonna skip over that. Except Austin, give me a shout if you're able to chime in here. Okay. I know he's pretty out of pocket. Doing, you're next. Doing, are you gonna say something? Hi, Doing. The network is pretty bad. The network is pretty bad. Okay. Doing is from the. Hi, Doing.
Everyone.
Hey. Go ahead. The network is bad. We just keep over. Tomi Alimi.
Doing Adero, and I'm a founder.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah. We're just going to skip over that. Doing is from the University of Abuja. She's a 400 level student there, I believe, accounting. But it's okay. Tomi Alimi, we're going to take you next.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Tomi.
My name is Tomi Alimi. I am a 400 level student of mathematics at the University of Benin. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes,
I said I'm a 400 level student of the University of Benin studying mathematics. I don't know what is funny about me, but then I realized that maybe it's funny, maybe it's not. Instead of while other people use their devices to take pictures of themselves when they put on some nice outfit, they just take pictures of themselves. I'm not a picture type. I'm not the one that likes to snap pictures, but instead I use my device to take pictures of buildings and the sky, grasses, and all of that. I just like those views. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Photographer, we see you. Thank you. Thank you, Toby. And last but not least, our able CTO, our Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Okwe. Okwe, introduce yourself, please.
Hi everyone. My name is Okwe.
Hi. We can't hear you. You're pretty low.
How about now?
Okay, this is good.
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Okwe
Hi.
from Trove. I'm not in school. I think one interesting thing about myself, because for a very long time I believed somehow that I was going to retire at 27. And then life happened. 27.
At 27. Wow, that's very ambitious.
And life happened.
So when are you going to retire now? No, that's what's happening.
I don't know. I'm working on a new plan.
To be decided. Further notice.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I missed Loretta. I thought she was away, but Loretta, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself? Your name, your school, something about you, and what.
My name is Loretta. I am founder of Medicine
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. You're a little bit low.
Sorry. Hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Loretta. I am a 400 level medical laboratory science student at Backup University. And a funny thing about me, I don't know what it's funny, but most times when people tell a dry joke, I load very much. And then when I understand it, it's no longer funny.
Okay, I don't know how to help you there, man. Thank you, Loretta. Guys, this was fun. I loved the icebreaker. I think it'll be a good time to mention that, we're going to be having these types of engaging interactions. As you guys already know, we have on-campus ambassador footprints across multiple universities. We're still going through and, recruiting other ambassadors and things. So this community is only going to grow. If there's anything you've heard or now know from the Trove team is that we're super lighthearted, really, from the CEO to all the co-founders to people on the block. We talk about almost everything. We are indeed a family. And if you guys, pull your weight and if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you really have access to us as a family. There's no hierarchy. It's a flat organization. Everybody matters and everybody's voices would be heard. Like Isioma mentioned before, if there are ideas that you have or you think would be beneficial to this family, feel free to raise it because we will listen to you. We might tweak it a little bit. We might, slice and dice it, but we definitely will listen to you and you will feel heard. So without further ado, we are well spent into our training time. Let us turn it over to our able CTO and co-founder, Mr. Okwe, to walk us through the app. A round of applause, please. Okwe, over to you.
Everyone is on mute.
I'm going to, okay, before he goes on again, please write your questions down. You're probably going to have questions as we go through. Let him kind of walk through and he would either prompt you guys to ask questions in the middle of it and or we'll wait till the end of the session to ask questions, okay? This is a very crucial part of the conversation today, so please pay rapid attention. We don't want you going out there asking you questions and you can't answer about the app. So this is the time to take it all in, okay? All right, taking the back seat now. Over to you.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Yes, we can.
I would be sharing my screen. Let me just say this again. Congratulations and welcome. That's have you guys here.
It looks like, I'm sorry, it looks like there's some level of feedback. So let me mute everybody again and unmute yourself and hopefully maybe we'll solve the issue.
All right. As you know.
Okay. I think we're good now.
All right, great. Let me start. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll be walking us through the mobile apps, and I would try to accommodate as many questions as possible during the walkthrough and after. So if you are not able to ask while I'm speaking, you can take note of them, and okay, we'll come back to that once we've completed the run through. So pretty much as you already know, Trove, you came together to start Trove to empower the average Nigerian to be able to buy securities globally, financial instruments globally. But this opportunity has always been like very, very closed and not open to so many people. And a lot of times, if you even want to get into that space, you would have to have like a whole lot of cash to be able to participate. So, get into that thing. And I think that's pretty much emphasizes the phrase that the rich get richer and the poor gets poorer pretty much. A lot of these opportunities have been very, very exclusive, and we've been able to actually, to an extent, democratize the space. That said, we also took into consideration the people that we're targeting, the market, the people we're trying to open this up to, and that all that information, all that data was taken into building and designing this app. To try to make it user friendly, and every now and then we had and optimize different features to provide the best user experience possible. That said, I'll just run through what a typical sign up, what the process as part of the sign up would look like, and then log into a demo account. Let me take it from there. If you open the app for the first time, this is what you see. What we call an onboarding screen. Just pretty much information about some of the things we do. We support a range of asset classes, from fixed incomes to stocks to ETFs and to ADRs. All this together currently gives us give a typical Trove user access to about 3,700 instruments at the moment, and more are being added every day. So,
Akwe, could you raise your voice just a tiny little bit more? It still feels like it's a little under, if you don't mind.
Okay. How about now?
Fantastic.
All right. Let me get back to that. All right. So what you see here is a sign-up screen. There are pretty much four processes, four steps to completing your profile on Trove. The first is basic information on your email, password, and contact phone number. Then the next step is your BVN. This is the BVN verification. To answer or to add to my colleague's response, the initial question about BVN and security, right? Part of that, identity theft is part of it, yes. There's also a requirement. So for us, your BVN acts as an identification number. So the way you have a social security number in US, and to be able to own any financial instruments there, you need a social security number. Your BVN is also your unique identifier. It protects you against identity theft, and provides us with information to be able to verify that, okay, this is you and you own this. And there are a couple of things that are also tied to this. So there are extra features that we added, but I will get to that as we go on to better protect our users' funds and assets. Right after this, you have the investment profile. So this is a regulatory requirement. Are you working? Where are you getting your money from? Your employment details, your risk appetite. Do you like take risk? Are you risk averse? Pretty much on a scale of 1 to 10, where would we place you? So that gives us an idea. And there are different ways that information can be used to improve users' experience. That aside the fact that it's also a regulatory requirement to do what we do. And then the fourth one, last but not the least, is your document. This pretty much explains itself. You need to know that, okay, yes, if you know how you say you are, the information there with the information there needs to tally. And this will also better protect, it will strengthen the security of your instruments. It's also a regulatory requirement. So Trove tries to stay compliant. We do not cut corners, and we we also put a lot of emphasis on security. That said, that's pretty much the sign-up process. For the BVN verification and document upload, you can always skip this later. You can always skip it at the beginning and then get back to it later. Or once you get past this, the next compulsory screen is next compulsory form is your investment profile. Yeah, so that said, I would sign in into test accounts that was designed for this. I was created for this. Sorry. All right. So once you've created a profile, or once you log into the app for the first time, you'll be met with this screen. This is pretty much the Trove dashboard. It gives you an overview on the top left corner of what you hold, how much you have in your wallets, your Naira wallets, your dollar wallets, or get wallets. It gives you an overview of how much you have cash you can withdraw or you can use to invest. To the top, on top right, you have your portfolio summary. So when you start investing, you want to be able to see how much your entire financial holdings is worth, the value at any given point in time. So you get to see that in the top right corner, and then right under it in green, you see how well it has performed in the last 24 hours. Did I make 500 Naira or did I make $500 in the last 24 hours on the last trading day? Then right under that section, you notice that this particular user did not verify his account. So you see this notification banner. I can always request a new verification link by simply clicking on it or tapping on it. You see the notification at the bottom telling you an activation email has been sent to you in case the one that was sent previously has expired or you didn't get the mail before. And then right under that, you see a section that tells you, oh, you skipped some processes while you're signing up, but you can always come back to it here. So that's the part that says, glad you've come this far. However, just a couple of steps away from buying your first stock. So by clicking on it, it takes you through some of the steps that you might have skipped while signing up. And for this particular account, we have the PVN, right? So here you enter your gender, date of birth, and bank verification number. This information is used to know. This information is used to know that you are who you say. And then right under this, we have some of Trove's first core functionalities. So you have the base, the trending section. So what are people buying and selling today, right? What instrument or what stock is trending? Which companies are trending, right? Which ones have the highest trade volume last trading day? Yeah, so you see a list. I think there are 10 of them at the top. This is an interesting one. Yeah, so that section shows you pretty much the trending for that day. And right under that, you have this banner telling you that, oh, you can invite your friends. You can refer people and get reward for referring people. And going down, we have the deep dive section, browse by categories. So I personally, being in the tech space for a while, I have a good understanding of what's going on in the tech space. So I might be interested in technology, right? So I won't see just technology companies. I can just click on technology, and it regardless of the country, Nigeria, US, China, you see every single company that falls in that into that category, and you can search through or pick the one that you're most interested in. But we didn't just limit it to technology. So we have a lot of other sectors. We have the finance sector. I think that's self-explanatory. We have the energy sector. So if you're interested in oil and gas, and green energy and oil, you want to go into that section. You're interested in properties. You want to you want to invest in companies that focus on operating in the real estate sector, right? You can look at that. Healthcare and pharmaceuticals, um, that's another interesting space. Then you have consumer, industrial services, ETFs, and rates. So then every other thing just falls into the others category. Um, yeah. So that's pretty much the category. So you can filter out by categories if you're interested in, or you can simply use this search functionality on the top right corner to go straight to the stock to the company that you're looking for, to the instruments you're looking for. Then right after that, we have the top gainers. Wow. So interesting. Fun fact, obviously, I'll see my screen, right? Someone did 139% in the last 24 hours.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm seeing dollars everywhere. Right. Yeah, so so you get to see the top gainers across different markets. Right. If tomorrow is any banker is doing 100%, you get to see it here. So it's top gainers all through Trove's list of instruments. This gives you an insight on how some of these things are performing on a daily basis. And then right at the bottom there you have the news. This is also a very, very powerful new feature. And we don't just support articles alone. We also support media and news. Let me see if there's any. Yeah, so you have this section that shows you a button here. So we pull news, market-related news from different sources, both articles, reliable sources, credible sources from both articles and videos that you can find online. But instead of having to go through every one yourself, this gives you an insight into general market states at any given point in time, and it refreshes in real time also. So you know that it's always up to date. Then you have the site navigation. Here pretty much directs you to every other part of the app. We all know how this works. We use smartphones every day. And here we have the dashboard. That's pretty much the home page. You have the all asset section. You have the portfolio to see your portfolios, to see your holdings, what you have, what you invested in, and to monitor it. You have your watch lists, calendars, your history, your wallets, your payment cards. So you can tie your cards, so you always have to enter your card information every time. And help and support is a very, very powerful tool, and we always recommend you use that. Then you have the account settings. So I'll take it one after the other, and I'll try to, because of time and not to bore you guys too much, try to pick out the most important points from every sections from everyone. So let's start with the all asset section. So this pretty much just gives you like a better view of everything on Trove. Right under the all assets, you can see that there are about 3,797 instruments there, and categorized as Nigerian stocks. The market is currently closed. Foreign stocks, ETFs, rates, and bonds. Right. So those are some of all the different categories in the all asset section. You can scroll through or you can do a search to get to any particular one. Let me see what Amazon looks like today. Forgive my keyboard. All right. So by clicking on any particular instrument, you get to see more information into that company or that asset. So what we try to do is we know that there are people that are just starting off. We also know there are people that have been in this for a while or are professional traders. So we try to find a balance, give you the tools that you need to actually get started, and also sufficient resources for an expert trader. And for that reason, we have a couple of sections here that first time I find confusing, but not necessarily overwhelming. Right at the top section, we have basically the instrument summary. Amazon shares, one unit of Amazon's shares worth $2,890 today, and in the last 24 hours again it's $11.6. Right under that you see your holdings and you see your current value. So if you invested in Amazon, you get to see how much it's worth right under the value. And here you have the historical chart showing you how Amazon has performed over time. And you can switch between the periods, last 3 months, last 1 month, last 6 months, and all that. But for the more advanced traders, you can use this button right under the chart, right under the historical chart, to get a more technical view of of the performance over time. Then right under that, you have the fundamentals. What's the price you opened at? What's the highest value in the last 24 hours? What's the lowest value in the last 24 hours? As it was the highest it has done in the last 1 year. And the market cap and all of that. Then other key statistics that gives you more insight into the company. Is it a healthy company? Is it worth investing in? Are they struggling? Are they cash flow positive? And all of that. Another interesting tool that is also very, very helpful is the analyst ratings. So what are the experts saying about this? Should you buy it? Should you sell it? Should you hold on to it? So this gives you what analysts are saying. And right now, 91% of experts say you should hold on to Amazon stocks, saying that it's going to do well in the near future. Then under that, you have the top ownership, top owners of that particular company. So as individuals, you're investing in these companies. Then there are also fund managers and organizations also that invest in this space. So someone mentioned it earlier that we have different people from different backgrounds, different classes, different sectors that actually use Trove. But this is not limited to Trove. This is based on the particular company, right? Companies can invest as an entity, individuals can invest as an entity, students can invest, as individuals and stuff. And then here you see the top owners. So if you are following a particular fund manager and you like the way they've been performing over the years, you get to see how much some of their position in some of these companies. Yeah, so you have the mutual fund holders and then you have the institutional holders. Usually these people are the ones with the highest volume, the highest ownership in any company or each financial instruments. And here you get to see the list of the top 10 in both categories. You can click the read more to get the complete list and scroll. At the bottom, you always see when that information was last updated. So this sort of let the user, or lets you as a user know when this information was updated and know how you, and if you know if you can really trust it, if it's outdated or if you want to look at another source of, let us know. We need to update that information and all that. But we do this regularly. Once there's a change and we detect the change, this information is updated and it's also automated. Going down, you have the earnings graph. So you want to know, the earnings graph is actually very, very, very useful. So once you get to understand it, you want to know if a company's target was met within a quarter, within a 3-month period. So we compare it with what the analysts were expecting and what actually happened. So from here, you can see that the second quarter of 2019, Amazon did not meet their targets, or did not meet and fell below what experts were expecting or what analysts expected. Q2 was the same thing, and then in Q4, everyone said no, Amazon did not really do so well, and they actually performed really well, like contrary to everyone's expectation. And Q1, so you can see the same thing from the charts. And this is also very, very. The next section is also something that we also we really put thought into, and that's the asset-specific news. Now, this section provides provides news that only concerns a particular instrument. So there was a dashboard, the new section in dashboard I just showed you the general market. And then if you go deep into a particular instrument, you get to see what's happening to that particular company at that given point in time. That's this new section. Then the next one, you see the similar instruments. So people that are looking at this instrument, what else are they looking at, right? You also see similar stuffs and people instruments that pick the other people's interests. And at the bottom, you have the description, right? So you want to learn more about this company. You want to know more about these instruments. There's always a description on every instrument on Trove. And because they're actually physical companies, you are not investing in virtual instruments or anything. You are investing in actual companies or stocks, shares and stocks of actual companies. These companies are public, so you get to see their address and their contact information. That's pretty much a summary on the assets section. So we've talked about the all assets, asset details, and the search functionality. At this point, I would like to I welcome questions. So on everything we've touched up to this point. Hello.
Guys, any questions so far? Hi.
Hello.
Okay, who wants to take a number? Toby, I see you. Who else has a question? Okay, Joey, you also have a question. Who else? Okay,
Yes,
let's
I
go.
have a question.
Who?
I'm taking a
Toby, you go first, and then Joey, you go next. Oh, Loretta, you have a question. Okay, Loretta, you can go third, just so we have some order.
Yeah.
Okay, Toby, you're up. Toby, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I have two questions. Number one, do you plan to come to Unilag for this investment kind of awareness? Because I read an article on the internet about 4 weeks ago about someone in Nigerian Stock Exchange saying that the Nigerian Stock Exchange has to come, like those guys, they have to come to the grassroots level to make sure that youths, the millennials, that they have the basic information available to them on the internet. Like they need financial education about the stock market and how it works. Last year, I was able to represent Unilag at the NSC hackathon. They did hackathon in NSC. I represented Unilag, and I was surprised when one of their staff was showing us around, and he was telling me that things that I did not even know. I had the thought that Nigeria Stock Exchange, they are for educated people and higher ranking people. But then he told me that I could as well invest in the Nigeria Stock Exchange. And last year, there were events in Unilag. People came, different brands. So they now have, they had partners instead. They had partners like Caro Wise came, Piggyvest came, ARM Pensions, they came. And then in the course of that event, they will give them like 30 minutes to introduce their brands to people. So do you guys have that plan to come to Unilag? Probably when everything is settled. Do you have the plan?
Yes, sure, Toby. We'll organize an event to be on your campus.
Okay, that's the question one. Number two, do you have someone that could help someone to invest on the app? Like, even if we are able to convince people that come and join Trove, but some don't have the time. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. They
I hear
don't
you.
have the time to carry out all those researches. What's the top gainers, top losers? What's the latest stock to buy, or
Yeah.
monitoring their investments?
Yes.
Do you guys have someone? Okay, that they might be sharing the profit. Do you have someone that can invest on behalf of another person?
Yes,
You have
so that is a feature we're working on. And once
okay.
it's live, we will reconvene this group to make sure that you guys understand the nitty-gritty of it. But yes, that is a feature we're working on.
Okay.
And in
Awesome.
another say month or two, we should have that live.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Toby. Doyin, you're next.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if the question should come now or later, but I registered with the Trove app like a few weeks ago, and I was asked to update my utility bill, which I did, I think the first day or so. And now it's still showing that I should update it. I'm updating it, it's showing something else. I don't really know what the problem is. That's
Okay.
first question.
Okay, we will take it, like I said, there is a Slack channel that you guys will have access to, but we can talk about that offline.
Okay, then the second question is, when I checked my wallet, I was asked that I can fund my wallet through by depositing into the Providus Bank, and it gave me an account number, which I did, but it's not reflecting in my wallet, so I don't really know if there's a change going on or.
No, when did you do the transfer?
I think day before yesterday or 3 days ago. I can't really remember, but I can check it.
Okay, yeah, let's get the details. It should have reflected immediately, but if it did not, let's just make sure that the money actually went through and was debited.
I was debited actually from my bank, but it's not reflecting on my wallet.
Okay, that's fine. We will look into that as well. Just send us the details of the transfer. Are you on the Telegram group chat?
No.
Okay, I would reshare the link to that, and everyone please join that group as well. And then there is also a tech and support group on Telegram as well. I will share that information as well to make sure that once you guys have any of these type of kinks, you can talk to someone. It may not be me, like I said, but somebody on the Trove team will definitely take care of you.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, to just chip in. Anybody that has any issues, since you already have the app on your phone, you can just go to help and support and send a message, and someone will reach out to you to walk you through whatever it is. It may be that you funded your dollar wallet and it takes a period of time for that to settle. However, I'm also hearing that you said your account has not been verified, so that may be also delaying the your funds from reflecting in your wallet, because we wouldn't deposit settle funds in your wallet except your account has been verified. So just send a message, use your help and support, use the chat icon there, send us a message, we'll get it here. Also, you can also reach Desayo at I don't know if she has made herself available in that way, through any links she sends to you. But as a normal user of Trove, you have direct access to the help and support. So you're not supposed to have issues and just keep them to yourself.
Fantastic. Thank you, Amina. Yes, so use
Yeah,
your
Desire,
app.
can I just
Please.
chip in quickly?
Go ahead.
Okay. I heard a question. I didn't really hear the question 100%, like 100% of the question. But I heard something around people checking charts and all this stuff, and like, what should I buy? What should I not buy? So, and I know this I mentioned something around the product that we're pushing out, which is, helps you to some extent manage your funds or automatically, grow your funds, or, that type of narrative. But another way I tell people every time is, don't look at, when they say stocks, everybody thinks of it as one. Oh, fucking hell.
Tommy. Tommy, are you still there? Okay, we can move on. I guess once it comes back. did make his point. Loretta, I believe you're next.
Okay, yes, I think the question I was going to ask was the completing your KYC. I think everybody has been talking about utility bill and everything, and I think I saw it on one of like I didn't get to see anything about utility bill when I was signing up for the app. The place where I stopped was document upload, and I've not seen anything on my dashboard like my account. I have not completed my signing up stuff process, so I don't know. Probably I should log in again. But I wanted to ask, like, is the utility bill a compulsory something? Because I didn't see it at all when I was signing up.
Yeah, so it is in your document upload section. So do check it. You definitely need to have one. And if your account, did you get any notification that your account has been verified?
No, I didn't.
So it has not been verified. So do check your app. If you have any specific questions, use the help and support function on there, but you absolutely need your utility bill. Amina, do you want to jump in there as well?
Yes, sorry, thanks. I didn't get your name, sorry.
Loretta.
Loretta, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Loretta. So for everyone, you don't actually need you need a utility bill, but it comes in when you don't have like some things. Like I checked Adam's profile. He had a NIN slip, so you know the NIN slip. It has your document ID and it has an address. So that address is suitable enough to front for a utility bill. Do you understand? So once you select that the ID you have is a NIN slip, then you don't need to see the option of uploading a utility bill anymore. So the people that have utility bills are people that maybe their NIN slip didn't carry an address, or maybe their IDs, like maybe a voter's card now, instead of number 2 so street, you just see Lagos, Nigeria, which is not an address. So we can take that as an identity card, but we can't use it as a utility bill. So we'll now require additional documents because your ID isn't enough. I don't know if I've clarified anybody's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Amina. Make sure you're next.
Okay. Thank you very much. I want to say a big thank you to Okpeyemi because that was a fantastic presentation and session. Okay. I want to ask, as regards the utility bill we're talking about, can bank statements be used as an alternative? I think, instead of electricity, instead of sometimes the instead of electricity bill that is having a contradictory address, I think bank statement can be used. Is that so?
Yeah, so your bank statement, literally any valid document that shows your address is valid for a utility bill. So the key thing there is that we have proof of address, so we can see an address on that bank statement. So some bank statements have addresses, some don't. So if it doesn't have, we decline it.
Okay.
Yeah, so as long as it carries your address, it could be a receipt you paid, maybe data payment, or it doesn't have to be electricity bill, but it just has to be a valid receipt or document that shows proof of address.
Okay. All right. As regards the presentation, this question goes to Okpeyemi. While he was talking about stocks, I think he didn't make much emphasis on the ETF, the exchange traded funds, and also the real estate investment trust. So I don't know if you can have a brief rundown on those 2 areas.
Okay. Just hold on. Let me try to share my screen.
Should we take I think we have about 2 more questions, and then we can jump back into the demo and
Yeah, I
start.
think we should do that.
Okay.
And then I'll start from the rates and ETFs.
Yes, fantastic. Okay, I think Helen, I think you're next.
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is about the advertisements, like promoting the content for the group. I feel like, can we in different, like in the same schools, if like I go to University of Lagos and someone also goes to University of Lagos, there's also a brand ambassador, can we come together to create content that we can use in promoting the brand? Can we like work together to get like in the same place to create content that can promote the brand? Because if I can remember correctly, this year or last year, HP did an advertisement where they used their brand, like their brand ambassadors, to create content, and so like a general kind of thing. So can we also do the same thing to promote the brand?
Yes. Yeah, the short answer to that is yes, you can. You can come together. We just need to know who did what.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely just need to know the brains behind it, but you can come together to create content and things like that. Isioma, do you have anything to chime in there?
Yeah, no, so you definitely said what I was going to, which is definitely yes. You know, there's even no limit to how many people can come together to to create content, just as long as the content is in line with the guidelines that we've shared, and as long as you share the content with us so that we make sure that it's not anything outside of what we're trying to achieve. But definitely you can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. I think Isaac is next. Isaac, you have a question, yeah? Isaac? Okay, we can move on. Up over to you.
All right. I would like, let me start from Somiche's question. Start from the ETFs and the rate section. So for those that don't know, ETFs and rates are pretty much a basket of instruments and picked instruments, and they are managed by particular fund managers. They behave like stocks. Let me give an example. This I can suggest one.
Maybe Vanguard.
Or let's okay. I'm in hack. All right. So for example, if we go to the reach section, so okay, this invest. I'm reading the asset description section now. Right, it talks about what this particular instrument is, and actively managed exchange traded fund, right, and what's particular section of portfolio type it is. So it's pretty much a basket of instruments in a particular sector. So you can have, for example, something that tracks the S&P 500, and there you have companies like Microsoft, Facebook, and the likes. So instead of investing in just one company, you're investing in like a basket of companies, right? Depending on the fund, you could have 10 to 500 different companies within that single basket, and the prices and everything change and it's tracked just like your typical stocks. Rates also fall in the same category, but that focuses on I think I'll focus on real estate and within the real estate and hospitality section sector in the financial industry. Hope that gives some insight into what ETFs and rates are.
Awesome, thanks. How about bonds?
Bonds are pretty much fixed income, right? Think of it as a loan, right? So you're buying bonds in a company. So a company is trying to raise. I'm probably explaining cities, but they're very, very similar. So like maybe the government is trying to raise money or funds for a particular thing, right? So that for a particular thing, so they can get money from the public and promise you a particular return after a period, right? And that's why they're called fixed income, because it's a promise. You will get your money after over a particular period. And that's why most fixed income assets give you a range of what you will get. Then you have funds. In this case, you have the Nigerian Eurobond funds. This is a dollar-based fund that pretty much takes your money from you and manage that, convert it to dollars and then manage it within the international sector, so they can spread your instruments across your money across different sectors, bonds from a totally different country, loans from a totally different country, even equity-based investments too in other financial markets. And they manage everything and then promise you up to a particular amount within a set period. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Let me go to watch list and then go back to portfolio. So the watch list section is pretty much simple and straightforward. It follows a similar user experience with the all asset section. The difference is, instead of having to keep or memorize every single instrument that you are interested in, or not necessarily, and are not necessarily invested in, you can add them to your favorites. That you can do that by using this symbol in top right corner as the heart icon there. When it's filled, it means it's in your watch list, and if you want to remove it from your watch list, you simply do that. You can do this for any instruments. It will be added to your watch list, and you can always go back and go to your watch list. Going to your portfolio. Your portfolio shows you a breakdown of what you have in cash and what you've invested in, and the spread or the breakdown of the asset allocation. Right. So here you have a pie chart, and it's actually color coded. Right. So it's blue, yellow, and green. Green meaning cash. Green meaning cash. Yellow fixed income, and blue equity. So for this particular account, it's a new account. It's pretty much not funded, and it's very little activities. Very little activity on this section. We'll come back to this later. There's a very, very powerful tool that was built into the app, and you guys will really find it helpful. Moving away from that, we have the calendar section. This calendar section is divided into three categories. You have the earnings calendar, you have the dividends calendar, and then you have the IPO calendar. And first, let me start with the IPO calendar. IPO calendar pretty much says when a company is about to go public. That's let's imagine Trove decides to go public now, and becomes available on the stock exchange. We do what we call an IPO. That's an initial public offer, right? Releasing some of our shares to the public, so that to be tradable on an exchange. Companies do this. There are not so many IPOs going on now, and maybe because a lot of companies are struggling with the corona thing. But once there's any upcoming one within a month or a quarter, it gets listed here. Dividends calendar is also another interesting tool. So a lot of companies, outside of what you invested in a company, they pay dividends to their shareholders. This is pretty much free money. You are not doing any extra work for it. Just by virtue of just owning shares in those companies, they give you some reward. They announce some rewards every quarter, and send it directly to your bank accounts, or in Trove's case, your wallet on Trove. Not every company gives out dividend. So some people prefer investing in dividend-paying stocks or dividend-paying shares. Dividend-paying companies, pretty much, or not every company not every company gives out dividends. This section lets you know anyone that is coming up, and maybe prepare yourself or see if you want to be part of that, and get some quick bucks and see if something that works for you. Now, the earnings calendar is also another very useful tool. The earnings calendar, a lot of times, every quarter, every company has gone public needs to announce their financials to the public. Since the public are the ones investing in the company, as investors, you need to be able to know whether this company is doing well or not, whether they are struggling, whether it's a good time to buy more or it's a good time to exit. So there's a lot of speculation that goes around earning calls, and to better prepare yourself for upcoming announcements, you can always see the date and time that some of these events will occur. Then your order history. Now, every investment you've made, every transaction you create is recorded, right? You want to be able to see a money trail of everything you've done. I invested in this, it failed. I tried investing in this, was successful. I bought this at this point in time. I sold this at this point in time. I want to see the status of my transaction. If it doesn't get executed immediately, or you create the buy or sell order when the market is, maybe on the weekend, the market opens. And here you can also filter by different categories. So the ones that are completed right on the top. If you just want to see the buy or the sell orders, or you just want to see the pending ones, the ones that are still executing, and you want to see the ones that have failed. That's on the order section. And then the next part would be your wallet section. So for Trove, because of the nature of what we do, we provide access to the international market and to the local markets. Right? We operate two different wallets. Every user operates two different wallets. You have your Naira wallet that handles every Naira denominated investments, and your US wallet that handles every foreign investments. And they are managed separately. Well, we added an extra feature. This was a community request, so we got feedback from our user. Like, oh, it'd be nice if we just convert instead of having to send money directly to my dollar wallet when I have in my Naira. So we also created this section that says convert funds. It allows you to transfer money from one to the other, and depending on where the money is coming from or where it's going to, it can be real time or it can take up to 2 working days for it to settle. Here you see the exchange rates at the bottom. We currently do not charge anything on top of that. So the service fees is going to be 0, and I don't see us charging anything on that in the near future. But for compliance sake and transparency sake, we disclose. You can always transfer funds between your Naira and your dollar, Naira to dollar and dollar back to Naira. I'm going into your typical Naira wallet. This bottom section that is pretty much blank holds all your transaction history, deposit and withdrawals. Yeah, so you get to see everything, all your deposits, all your withdrawals, the status of the transactions. You can always withdraw your money at any point in time. And then when you want to deposit, okay, this account isn't verified. Going to the question that someone asked earlier. So we support a lot of different payment methods for deposits and for withdrawals. For deposits, you can pay with your Naira card. You can pay with your Naira card, or you can do a bank transfer. Right? A bank transfer is pretty straightforward. It works the same way you do it. You transfer money to your siblings, for example, or you want to send money to your mom, or she wants to send money to you. And what we do is we work with a lot of, we work with some top financial players in this space, and by virtue of our partnership, we are able to generate unique account numbers for each user for Trove. Now, when you transfer money to these accounts, in an ideal scenario, it's supposed to reflect in your order history immediately. And for Naira deposits, it's supposed to reflect in your wallet balance immediately, right? But there also be cases there can be cases where um, the bank says the money has left your account, or our own system says the money hasn't hit our system yet. And that happens a lot within the banking system space in Nigeria, where money may not really reflect immediately, and sometimes it reflects after a day, and sometimes it gets reversed after a day. And then sometimes you have to contact support to see where the problem really coming from. Yeah, but those are things that within the banking sector in Nigeria are not not specific. But the thing is, the account is unique. If you put it in any banking app, it would bring out your name. But it's used to just send money to Trove. This applies to the Naira wallet. It also applies to the dollar wallet. And then we've just added some extra methods too a week ago. So you can now, for those that have dollars already, maybe you have a DOM account somewhere, or you have dollars somewhere, you can do a wire transfer to your dollar account in US, and you can also withdraw your money in dollars. So I have dollars somewhere, but I don't want to have to hold on to I don't want to convert it to Naira. I want to hold on to the dollars. I have a DOM account somewhere. You can withdraw your money back in dollars. Pretty much you have control over your funds. I think that's the shortest version of that. That covers the wallet section. Then we have the cards. This card section, every time you want to deposit with a payment card, for convenience sake, you get the option to either to save the card and use it later as a payment method instead of having to hold on to your card or check your card every now and then. Now, just to clarify, for security reasons and for compliance reasons, we do not save your card details on our system. And also, we do not save your password on our system. And I just want to share this so you know some of the measures that we put in place to make sure our users are safe. What this simply means is, even though you are entering the card information on Trove, if you go through our entire records database or anything, you would never see that card information there. So what we do is we work with partners that are certified by the Central Bank of Nigeria. And what they do is they take this kind of information, they tokenize it, so they send us a kind of reference ID and you can always use to credit or debit, withdraw or make payments using that reference ID instead of providing your card information every time. We call it tokenization, right? So we create a token of your card and use it for subsequent transactions. The good thing about it is, if you take that token anywhere, it's useless. It can only work on Trove. Outside of Trove, it's useless. So this protects users. This is one step we use to protect users' information. For your passwords, before it's even stored, it's tokenized and it's hashed. So for the more technical guys here, for the non-technical guys, think of it as converting it to a unique set of gibberish. So even an administrator, let me say the Oga Patapata of Trove, cannot even log into your account without your permission. And that's the simplest way to put it. Right. Now going back to help and support, I know a lot of the questions that came up in last Q&A, a lot of issues, and everyone's making reference to help and support. This section does two things for you. One, we've been able to create like a glossary of short answers and articles for different themes and data that you come across while exploring investment options. And here you can see some of those information here. What is a dividend, for example? Someone asks what is an ETF, and this section already have answer to that question. See popular investment lingo, bear market, bull market, financial, key finance, what is derivative, your balance sheets, and all of that. So you get to know how you get to learn a couple of the terms, understand some of these terms that are used in this space, pretty much in this investment space. I mentioned what an IPO is. You can see it here in this section, right? And we try to keep it short and simple so you're not overwhelmed with unnecessary gibberish. Then at the bottom right section here, you have a very, very important icon. And by clicking on this, I get to see this. So here you can actually communicate right within the app with our support team. Right, there's always someone who always can get back to you. There are still short articles that you can use to get quick help. But if you really need to talk to someone, you can just start a new conversation. At the same time, you can always make reference to previous conversations with different supports members, customer support rep. Yeah, so that's this help and support section. Make use of the chat button at the bottom right. You have KYC issues, your funds did not reflect. And we built this directly into the app so you, for convenience sake, we want to try to be as reachable as possible. I want to help in any way possible. So if you don't have our numbers, you're not close to you. Writing an email, sending an email may not be convenient for you. You can just start a conversation here from within the app. Then we have the account settings. This pretty much just gives you like different options to change, adjust some of the information you have, or generate account statements and trade confirmations for your portfolios, for your holdings. Here I have an option. Since my email is not verified, I have the option to resend verification email. I can change my phone number if I want to. I can add my Nigerian bank accounts. I can also add the Dom account here. But here it's telling me I need to update my BVN first before I can add bank accounts. This is another security measure we put in place. So once your BVN is verified, right, the account information that you're going to be adding to Trove needs to tally with the BVN information on file. Right, so this way, someone can pick your app, put in a different account number, and try to withdraw your money. The infrastructure will not let you. If anything, it will flag the attempt. But you won't even be able to change the account information to start with. This is a security measure. So while we try to be as secure as possible, we are trying not to tie our users' hands and force them into a very rigid system. So we build around these things to provide convenience, good user experience, and top-notch security. You can always change your password here. You can see your account information and then the broker partner that we are with. As I said, we have partner a lot of financial institutions to do what we do. But one very powerful tool is also here at the bottom of the settings section. Outside of all of these, you can create an app lock. Now, this allows you to specify 4-digit PIN, this is compulsory, to create an app to lock your accounts, lock your app rather. So if you want, let's say you want to minimize your app, for example, and you don't want anybody to easily access your app, maybe your younger brother, your younger sister picks up your phone and you don't want that, tampering with stuff, you can lock the app. I can also set the duration. So if I minimize the app for 5 seconds, if the app stays minimized for 5 seconds, should it lock? If it stays minimized for 10 seconds, or should it stay locked? Or should it get locked if I minimize immediately? So you get to set all of that in this app lock delay section. So here you have different options: 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and you can set it to never if you want it to get locked immediately. You can also add fingerprint and biometrics lock. So for people with devices that support Face ID, people with devices that support fingerprints, fingerprint-enabled devices, iPhone users with Touch ID or Face ID can also take advantage of this feature. So you don't always have to enter your PIN and all of that. Yeah, and then this section is pretty much your referral, your free share section pretty much. You can share your referral code with anyone. Don't use this referral code. This account is not verified. But you can share. You can either copy it to clipboard or share on different social media platforms. Sorry, I got locked out. Share on different social media platforms, Facebook, WhatsApp, and the likes. This is the code, but you can also hold it down to copy a URL. So you can also, the URL is actually more efficient because people may not necessarily, you will not have to download the app and then enter your code. They just simply click the link, it takes them to a web page, and they just sign up. He embeds your code for them. That's on that. Last but not least is our demo account section. So yeah, we understand that a lot of people are new to this. There's a lot to learn. You are investing with actual money. There's the risks involved in investing your money and all of that. But you want to be able to learn. You want to be able to practice without spending actual cash. And for that reason, we created this same app, but this time using virtual money. And you can easily switch on to the demo section, to the virtual section, by navigating, clicking on the navigation drawer here, and tapping this card on the top, right section. So once you click on it or you tap the card there, it gives you a drop down, says switch to your demo account. And once you do that, it would switch over to your demo account. And here, you guys rich. So here you are giving demo money, play money to test money to actually play around. Right? To actually play around and experiment, try out everything you've learned, explore different opportunities, see how the market will react to certain financial decisions and all of that. It gives you the same information that you'd see on the normal app, on the live section, but this time you get an opportunity to actually buy something with virtual money. I am spending $10,000 on a particular stock. And so I'm just walking through a buy process and I just confirm the transaction. So this is what happens both in the live and in demo section where you're trying to buy. But in this demo section, because I have a lot of virtual money, I get a lot of, I get to play around with a couple of things. As in the live section, you get the same data. They put you in this real world scenario, but gives you a safe environment. Everything else is pretty much the same. All of that. But now that we have a transaction in our demo, we should have something in our transaction history. So this is what the transaction history looks like once you start investing, right? Someone has been using this account. All right. So yeah. Let me see what the portfolio section looks like. So this is a portfolio section with data in it. Yeah, so I have a lot of cash. My wallet is green. The blue section says 2% of my holdings is in equity. And I don't have any fixed income in my demo accounts. And here you see the profit and loss made over time, right? Since we started investing. Let me say General Electric, for example. Then when you invested in a particular instrument and you navigate to that instrument section, you get to see this new section that shows you your cost basis, which is the amount it has cost you to get into it, your today's returns, which shows you how much you gain in the last 24 hours, your total returns, which tells you how much you gained since you first invested in that particular instrument, and then your average cost. All of these things are to give better insight into your holdings and let you know when you're actually making money and how much you're making. I think with that, I can say come to the end of this. I'm not sure if I missed anything. Isayo?
Yeah, do you want to talk about people placing orders, so the different type of orders that we have and when those orders will be executed?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually a very common question. I don't know why I missed that. So let me use this demo test account, for example. Let's say, you know, it's trending, it's really popular. If you see the chart, the price has been going up for a while now, in the last 3 months. Money from this, all right. Yeah, so because I own this asset, you see that you have a buy and sell option at the bottom. Or if you don't already, if you've not invested in it before, you only get to see a buy option at the bottom. Now, when you want to buy, there are different types of, when you're placing a order to buy or sell, you get to choose how you want your transaction to behave, right? So I just want to buy this instrument at any price. So the thing with stock prices is that it goes up and down over time, right? And sometimes just the same way you go to the market and you price something, right? You don't just go and say, I'll buy a basket of tomatoes and they give me a price and I say, okay, you know what, that's fine, I'm going. You can do that, and in the stock market, call that a market buy, right? So when you have a market buy, you specify the amount you want to spend in dollars or in naira. Let me say I want to spend $20 on this. And yeah, I'm saying that $20 get me 2.05 shares in, right? I just click proceed. Now, because the price changes, what you are seeing there is an estimated value in units. So the price can shift, and what you get to just be what it was at that point in time. And that's what we call the market price. So you get it at the market price. Now, sometimes you may not feel like that's beneficial for you, and that's nice. It's nice to use a spot buy, market buy, when you just want to get in and you're not really bothered about what it's like. Maybe a long-term investor and you're thinking long-term, so it doesn't really matter to you the price movements within the last 24 hours or within the last couple of days. You can go in that way. But if you are particular about the price you want to get it at, you only have 100 naira in your pocket and you want 100 naira worth of tomatoes, or you want 120 naira worth of tomatoes, like you have good bargaining power, right? You go there and you're like, okay, price, my 100 naira is going to get me that basket, and then you bargain. But what you're pretty much doing here is called a limit buy. So a limit buy, you specify the amount you want and the price you want to get it at. So let me use Amazon, for example. Amazon is worth $2,000, or let's say $2,200 today. But I want to get Amazon at $2,000, one share, one unit of Amazon share, right? I specify that I want to get it. Let me. I think I'm walking through the app. Sorry. While doing that. So yeah. So I want to buy. Amazon shares currently trading at 2,886, right? But I want to get it at 2,500. So all I simply do is I say, okay, I want it at 2,000. I first specified I want a limit buy. I want it at 2,500, and then I specify the quantity, 1 unit. What happens here is your order is going to be pending until the price touches meets the condition that you set. So if the price ever drops to 2,500, you will get it at 2,500. But you should also take note that on Trove, your orders are valid for a day. What that means is, if the price is not, if that your target price is not met by the end of by the end of the close of the day, of the trading day, the transaction would expire and the funds will be reversed back into your wallet. And hopefully that explains it. We'll get to the questions around that. But just before we wrap up, another common question is market open and market close. So think of it as a marketplace, right? You are going to a popular market in Lagos. Okay, let's say you are going to market, you are going to a mall, you are going to ShopRite, for example. ShopRite has opening and closing hours. So you can only buy and or sell during those periods. And same thing applies to the capital market space too. Market opens and closes within a particular close at specific times. Depending on the country or region or your time zone, it can change for you. So US, I think they're about 6 hours, depending on where in US, they're about 6 hours behind. So when the Nigerian market is closing, the US market opens up. That's probably like 8:30, 9 o'clock US time. And then it closes at 9:10, depending on daylight savings mode and all of that. So during that period, if you put a buy or a sell order outside the trading hours, your order would be held and will stay in a pending state until the market opens. So if you do it on a Saturday, you have to wait till Monday before your trade is executed. All right, I think that's on the order types and trading hours.
The one thing I wanted to just chime in there is that if you place an order when the market is not open, note that the order would be executed at whatever price the market opens at the next day. So for instance, you place an order to buy, I don't know, ABC stocks, and at the time you place the order, the cost stamp was say 1 naira. But when the market opened, there was a lot of pre-market activity, and the stock opened at a higher price. Your order will be placed at the higher price or lower price. It may not be, the market may not open at the price that you placed the order, but because you had that order in pending state, okay, it would be placed at that new market price, especially when it's not a limit buy or a limit sell. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that was emphatic. Okay, so we are almost at the tail end of this conversation. Again, I wanted to emphasize that for all your social media posting, they must be approved. We'll again get the documentation like I mentioned. But let me quickly share my screen. Everything Akwe has talked about, we also have on the web interface. And so I will share my screen and show you the web interface right now, specifically for you guys and your users, so you can track your users. So let me quickly go ahead and do that right now. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Fantastic, thank you. So this is the web interface. You all will have access to this once you have a Trove account, which you should have a Trove account. You all will have access to this, and everything Akwe has gone through, essentially, it's the same UI, it's the same kind of look and feel. So I'm not gonna belabor the points that Akwe has made already. Pretty much everything you can do on your app, you should be able to do on here, except some certain new features that has gone on the app, but we'll go up on this shortly. I wanted to really call your attention to your free shares. This particular feature is currently only available on the web version. It will be embedded into the app version pretty shortly, but it's not there yet. And essentially, I want us to look here. So refer your friends, you get cash. If they use your invitation code, you get your free shares, right? And here, this section is where, obviously this is the demo account, but this is where you're going to see, oh, I invited somebody, you know, we'll get questions like, oh, I invited somebody, they downloaded the app, but I don't have my free shares, and they don't have theirs either. They will probably fall under the pending users because they've not been verified yet, okay? So they might have BVN issues, or They might have like some confirmation issues, like Toby mentioned. He's been trying to get through his own process, but there's some discrepancy with his addresses. All of those people will fall under your pending users. And then once everybody has gotten through, like Loretta, it will fall under your verified users. And you should be able to track, you would be able to get your 5 shares at that point in time. So just so you can kind of know where things are and you don't feel like folks are falling through the cracks when they use your invitation code, everything will show up on here. Be sure that people use your invitation code, because that's the only way we can track the traffic to and from you. Does that make sense? So you're going to be able to have this on the web interface. That's everything I wanted to share with you guys on the web part of things. But I would open it up for questions right now. Like I said, there is a dashboard that's coming for you guys. It is still in the works. Toby, I see you. Give me a second. It is still in the works. Once that is live, we will do another very quick demo of the dashboard and kind of send that your way. But I have one more information, but Toby, happy to take your questions.
It's actually not a question, it's an observation.
Okay.
So, are you hearing me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
So, it's this latest news of Jeff Bezos, Amazon becoming and Tesla becoming the most highest valued car maker and something like that. So I actually saw a screenshot, the screenshot that I've been seeing on social media concerning this Amazon. I saw it and I said, wow, so what's this? What's this? Where is this address? Where is this web? What's this app that's so beautiful like this? That this person got the screenshot. But then as this Mr. Okwe was going through this training, I could see that screenshot was from Trove app. I've seen that screenshot like 3 times now, even on my group chat.
That's awesome.
That Amazon new share price. That's just an observation, Sha. Anyway.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. When you guys see those type of things, you have the authority to brand this as Trove. If people take screenshots and they don't, have the Trove logo and or have the Trove presence, please make sure that we chime that in. We need to own that narrative. And let me actually turn that over to Isioma. She has the best response there.
Okay, so Toby, thank you so much for that feedback. I was very happy to hear that. Definitely. It's good news to see that our information is out there. But it's like Desayo said, part of needing to own that narrative, a lot of information gets swept under the rug or bundled together, and a lot of people don't know where it comes from. And just because they don't know where it comes from, someone else can quickly come and take ownership of that before we get, into we're not necessarily looking for limelight, so to speak, but if we do the work, then we should get the recognition for it, right? So in those kind of conversations in your group chats, when you see, you can quickly say, LOL, this came from my Trove app. And then for confirmation, because human beings like to be able to be sure that what you're doing is correct. Like we say, we're genuine. So you just quickly screenshot from your own phone and be like, you guys are using my Trove app. And you can even use that as an intro to quickly now tell a quick story around Trove, tell them why it's even important to use a trusted app for things like that. And then they can even get more great information from Trove, You can now use that as a selling opportunity.
I understand.
So thanks, Toby. Thanks for that.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to mention to you guys is that we will have a couple of webinars coming up. I know you guys are either in the beginner stages and or intermediate stages. You're probably in different levels of just understanding the stock market and things like that. So we will have 2 webinars coming up. One would be just a basic fundamentals around the stock market. If folks kind of don't know, they want to learn, they just don't even know where to start from. I did share an article with you guys on one of your emails on like where you can really start from. If you're a beginner, it doesn't matter. We are here to help you. I will recirculate that link to one of our Medium posts that we made a while ago. But we're also going to have a webinar, just something similar like this, something small. We're going to take all the questions. There will be no stupid questions. We will just talk through what is a stock, what is an ETF, what is a bond, what is even the stock market, what are people doing with the stock market. We'll also have kind of real life scenarios, case in points, case studies, things like that, just to make sure that folks are beginning to understand and get educated on this subject matter. And then we're going to have another no cap Q&A session where we're going to bring in one of the experts that we've worked with in the past, who's hosted several Telegram webinars for us. And he's just going to come in. He's done fantastically well in the stock market. He's made, I mean, hundreds of thousands of US dollars just like beating the market. As of last year, his portfolio was up over 50%. I mean, I'm talking someone who's made like, I'm not even going to disclose, but just imagine over 100,000 US dollars in this whole game. Very well read, has a PhD. We're going to bring somebody like that as well to speak to us. He has agreed to do a webinar, a free webinar for us. And that conversation would really be anything that aches your heart about the stock market, bring it to that conversation. Once we have a date and time for that, we're going to circulate that. You guys can share that within your network. I think Zoom has a limit. I think it's about 100 people or something like that. We'll see kind of how we're going to facilitate that. It would also be a recorded session. So in case we don't get everyone, or we don't, we max out the number, we'll be able to share that information as well. So these are some of the things that Trove actually brings to people that, you know, the Trovers, the Trove tribe. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware, but we're going to start with the fundamentals. No stupid question. Just kind of tell you guys what these things are, tell you guys how to use it, and how to take advantage of the stock market at the very fundamental level. Like I said, I will recirculate the article that we wrote just to make sure you guys have that as well. Now I'll open the floor to any other questions that you have, and we can wrap up today's session. Any questions in the house? Okay.
No.
Fantastic. I would, if I do say so myself, I think this has been a successful session. Thank you guys for participating. Thank you guys for engaging and asking all the questions that you have. You have my email address. I will email you guys in about 15 minutes or so, and I'll also copy all my colleagues that have handled different sessions in that email. I would also include the Slack workspace channel. I'll include the link to that. I'd also include the link to our Telegram communities, and just pretty much bombard you with a host of information. Look out for your contracts in your email coming out in the say next week or so. I'd like you guys to turn it around, sign it, and send it back to us. If you haven't sent me your school verification and documentation, please ensure to do that. I would also include that in the email coming out to you very shortly. But this has been fantastic. Really enjoyed meeting you guys. I will definitely have more of these type of sessions where we'll bring our people together. We'll bring the entire Trove team together, as well as you guys. So in the meantime, you guys, if you have any questions, reach out to me, reach out to anyone on the team, and we'll be happy to serve you guys. And yeah, Isioma did mention, thanks to have you guys on board. Isioma, do you have any final words?
It's just like I said, we're very happy to have you guys on board. I'm glad those of you who were able to stay till the end. Thank you so much for being a part of this and listening. We're looking forward to partnering with you guys, having more conversations. Thanks to the Slack channels. You know, please reach out to me if you're having any questions or anything you're not sure of regarding content or direction. You could always, like Desire mentioned, the PR messages and all those things will be attached to the information that you get, so that you could always get a guide. And some of you, I've seen some people already have connected on LinkedIn. Please feel free to do that as well. Join the Trove family on social media so that you can be up to date with all of the things that we do. Yeah, that's about it from me. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Isioma. Tommy, do you have any last words? I know you might be cut up right now. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to end it here. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. But until next time, this was fantastic. Thank you so much for making time. All right, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.